everybody, I'm Mari Kay and I'm going to be showing you a really quick meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some chicken tortilla soup. I had a rotisserie chicken that is just partially eaten, so I've got quite a bit left on the bone there. I'm going to use that with some tomato paste, some Rotel tomatoes, some frozen corn, some cilantro, and some white corn tortillas. Of course, I'm going to have my avocado I had left over from the other day to put on top of my bowl. We're going to make it fast, hopefully within about 12 minutes. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this refrigerated rotisserie chicken, vent it a little bit. I'm going to put it in a microwave for about, a minute, because that way it's going to come off the bone a little easier if it's warm. So, let's pop that in. For 1 minute, I'm going to fill this pot with some water. While that's filling with water, I'm going to go ahead and open up a can of just mild Rotel tomatoes. I don't do the hot very well, especially my family doesn't do the hot very well. My pot's about halfway full. I'm going to put this pot on here to start it coming up to temperature. Got my Rotel tomatoes open. Gonna open up my tomato paste. Now, you don't have to put tomato paste in it. I like putting tomato paste in it because I want my broth just a little bit thicker. My tortilla soup is on my blog at simplymarikay.com. The tortilla soup I have on my blog is a little more complicated, but as I said, I was in Austin for a conference today and I just want to make this as a real quick meal. There's my chicken. All right. Wipe it on my towel, not on my pants. There we go. That's going to be coming up to temperature. I'm going to take some Better Than Bouillon chicken paste. I'm going to put it in there. Since I'm not boiling my chicken, I want to have a little more chicken flavor. A broth. So hang on 1 second. This is called Better Than Bouillon. When I had the restaurant, we used to use like chicken stock. We had shrimp stock. We had all sorts of stuff that we had. It's a little harder to come by if you're just in a household kitchen. Okay. I'm going to take about that much, what, teaspoon and a half maybe. Put that in that water, stir that in. I'm not going to put anything in there until the water gets warm. Now it's already starting to get just a little bit, little smoky. Let me turn this just a little bit for you. There you go, just a little smoky. A little bit of heat coming off my water already, so it's going to incorporate that Better Than Bouillon for my soup. There we go. Now, while that's coming to temp, I'm going to take this chicken and I'm going to start just taking it off the bone. All right? Dropping it down in there. This is going to take just a couple minutes to get this off the bone. The reason I just do it in the microwave is because even though I could go ahead and put my chicken in my water and let it come to temperature that way, I don't necessarily want the skin or anything off of my chicken to be in my tortilla soup. So I heated it in the microwave so it comes off the bone a little better. So this is going to take just a couple of minutes to get all this off, all this goodness, all this leftover. Just think about the money I'm saving. $5.99 for a chicken. And when you have just you and your husband, or just two people, you don't want to have chicken every night. You don't want to have chicken breast one night, chicken thigh the next night, chicken leg the night after. So I'm gonna use it. When I was in New Orleans recently, went to a cooking class thing that I thoroughly enjoyed. One of the chefs made a comment about using rotisserie chickens. Now, small town I'm from, they finally have rotisserie chickens in our grocery store. For a long time, we didn't have rotisserie chickens, but now we do. And of course, if you live in a city, you can't go into any grocery store and not find one. And they're fairly cheap. As I said, you know, this one was like $5.99. And if I get 3 meals off of $5.99, it's pretty good. So, getting all this goodness off. Maggie's laying there. See Maggie? Hi, Maggie. Maggie's there hoping that I drop something for her. All right, need to move a little faster if I'm gonna get this done in 12 minutes, huh? So this is already boiling. So since this is boiling and I want to go ahead and let my flavors start kind of incorporating in there, I'm gonna stir up the stock a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead, excuse me, I'm gonna add my can of Rotel tomatoes in there. I'm gonna add my tomato paste in there. Now, I'm really, really bad about not using all the paste. I always leave about 1/4 of the can. Great size, but that amount of water, it's gonna make it a little too tomatoey for me. So, I just put in like 3/4 of my can. I hate to waste it. You can put a little piece of tinfoil on it, put it in your refrigerator, and then come back about 3 months from now and go, why did I save the tomato paste? Or you can just throw it out now. All right, I'm also gonna take some frozen corn, and I'm gonna add probably a cup of corn. This is what was left in my bag in my freezer. All right, now, while that's coming to boil, I'm gonna take a pan, put it on my stove. This is what makes this tortilla soup awesome. Here we go, let's watch a little bit better here. I am going to heat this up. I'm gonna put some canola oil in there, vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil to do this because I don't want the flavor of olive with my Mexican food. All right, so I'm gonna let that start coming to temperature right there. While that's coming to temperature, I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna grab a little bit more of my rotisserie chicken. And I'm gonna keep adding chicken to my pot. So my grease is coming to temperature. Now I've got my dark meat. Added my dark meat to my pot. Here we go. Just taking it off, make sure I'm not getting any bones in there. Might get a little bit of skin, but that's okay. All right. There's quite a bit of chicken left on this bone. When I was a little girl, my mom used to save the chicken legs. I never was able to do that. She would sit there and she would, probably still does, she gnawed the bone. Got all the goodness out of the bone. We would take the bones and just boil them, make stock out of them. Okay. Now, that grease is still pretty warm. I'm gonna open up my tortillas. Grab a big old stack of tortillas right here, and this is what makes this really good. I'm gonna make homemade little tortilla strips. Before I get started, I'm gonna grab a plate and a paper towel. Reason I'm grabbing a plate and a paper towel, setting it way back there, is because I want to be able to take these out of my hot grease. Now look, I'm stripping them to about this size right here. Just making little strips. I'm going to put one in, just one. And I'm going to wait and make sure that this is hot before I put any more in. This is sitting here incorporating. Come back over here and pick just a little bit of this meat off the bone every chance I get. Making sure I've got all the meat off. Looking like I got quite a bit of it off. Maybe got a little bit of dark meat left over here on the little baby wings. All right. Not quite to the temperature I want it. So now I'm gonna take some cilantro that I've washed, and I'm just gonna come in here and chop up some of that. I leave mine fairly big because, again, I got a picky eater. They don't always want to eat the cilantro. All right, this is a good temperature, nice and crispy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drop in just a little thing full of chips there. Start those frying. Whew, that's a boiling. I'm gonna turn my heat down low on my pot. Have a little more cilantro in there. Stir this up. Make sure that tomato paste is dissolved in there. Make sure my chicken better than bouillon paste is dissolved in there. I've cut my heat down real low. And my soup is pretty much ready. I'm gonna shake it up before you shake it out. That's what I always say. I'm gonna add a little bit of grill seasoning just to give it a little bit of garlic, and not a lot though, because this isn't Italian food, not a hamburger. Not gonna have to put a lot of grill seasoning on it. Main thing I'm gonna add is some of the salt here. Just such a cute little container. I love a little container. There, not a lot of salt, you know, just a couple little sprinkles of some sea salt in there. Come back over here, make sure these aren't sticking together. There we go. Make sure that's nice and brown, crispy. All right, that soup is pretty much ready. I'm gonna take a couple of seconds, kind of eyeball these chicken bones one more time. Make sure I've got all I can get out of my $5.99. There we go. I think I've got all I can. Maybe a little bit left on the leg here. A little bit of dark meat left. A little bit of meat left in the crevices. All right, that chicken's pretty much destroyed. Now these are done. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. Crispy goodness. Put those over here on my paper towel. Now, family thinks the best part is these little crispy strips. So even though my soup is ready, and I can go ahead and serve it, I'm gonna go ahead and do up one more batch of these crispy strips, because I know that my husband and my boy are gonna want a lot of those crispy strips on top of the soup. So I have been videoing for 14 minutes. Meal is pretty much finished, 14 minutes. Not bad, not bad at all. Let me show you what I got here. I'm gonna grab a bowl and some shredded cheese. All right, take this bowl. And I'm gonna take this cheese, with some shredded blended cheese. I'm gonna put a little bit on bottom because I know it's gonna melt. Maggie's begging for food. I'm gonna take this soup. I'm gonna ladle that on top, because then I'm gonna take a little bit more cheese, because that's just how I roll. And I'm gonna put a big old bunch of these tortilla strips on top of this. Look at that. That is going to be some really great tortilla soup. Now I am going to take my avocado, half of an avocado I have left over, and I'm going to cut this. There's some more tortilla strips coming out of this hot grease here. All right. I'm going to throw some more down in here. I'm going to take some of this avocado here, throw a couple pieces on top of my tortilla soup. Look at that. I think 16 minutes for all the way to the table is not bad at all. So you guys make sure you're following my YouTube channel. SimplyMariK.com is my blog. Simply Mari K is my Instagram. Simply Mari K is my Pinterest. I'm just Simply Mari K.